Little Mermaid 2 Return to the Sea. I'm reviewing all the Little Mermaid movies in preparation for the remake we have coming out next month. And I'd never seen this one before. I've seen the prequel one. We'll talk about that one next week. But yeah, I'd never seen this one before. And I have the Disney Movie Club exclusive Blu-ray because this is out of print unless you have this. So I know that they're just on Disney Plus, but I'd rather own the physical thing. So, and this is actually a nice slipcover, by the way. Really nice. Anyways, we're not here to talk about cool Blu-ray exclusives. We're here to talk about this movie. And if you don't know, Disney back in the early 2000s, and I say if you don't know because I don't think most kids today remember these. In the early 2000s, Disney made a bunch of direct-to-video sequels to Disney animated movies. It started in the 90s with Return of Jafar, which was like the sequel to Aladdin. Because Disney didn't really make sequels to their animated movies. They made one uh, at the time in the 90s before all the direct-to-video sequels came out. And that was Rescuers Down Under, and it didn't do great. So they don't really make sequels. Now that's a little bit different. We have a sequel to Fantasia, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen. They're working on Zootopia 2. They will milk these properties for what they're worth. But, so this is what these movies are. They're not very good, most of them. Some of them are okay, but none of them really reach above that. In fact, the company that made these sequels were not made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. They were made by a self-run, not self-run, but a different animation studio that when John Lasseter came in, took over Walt Disney Animation Studios in the early 2000s, he shut them down. It was a company called Disney Toon, and they're actually a pretty decent company. They made the Goofy movies, which are great. They made the DuckTales movie, which is also great, and then they made a bunch of other stuff. But basically, eventually, they shut those companies down, and now they're defunct, which is very unfortunate because I feel like if they were given the right tools, they could have made some good stuff for Disney Plus that wasn't just milking old properties. It probably would have been milking old properties, but there's a way to do it and still make good content, and I just feel like that was unfortunate. But yeah, that's just the backstory of where these things come from. And so it's kind of like, I didn't watch this movie and expect a great film, yet I was still kind of disappointed. The animation quality not being as good as the first, I don't really care. It's fine. And actually, I think when they remastered it to Blu-ray, they cleaned it up a little bit, so it looks okay. And yeah, that doesn't bother me too much. So there's a couple of these ones where the animation being lesser quality did really bother me. This is not one of them. I'm fine with it. It looks completely fine. However, the one thing that did bother me about this movie was just the writing. I don't expect great writing, but it's just ridiculous how much this one copies the first, and the plot is just nonsensical. So here's the I don't mind them doing the first movie's plot, but in reverse with Ariel's daughter. That actually makes kind of sense if you think about it. Like her wanting to be in the sea and not be part of the mermaid life, and but the way they go about it in this movie is just ridiculous. So first of all, we have Ursula's sister now, Winder, who is basically the same character, except she's different now, I guess. Ursula's sister is also voiced by Pat Carroll, rest in peace, who is great as Ursula and she's great as this villain, but she's just the same character, literally voiced down to the point she's literally voiced by the same person. It's really stupid. I don't get the point of it, but it's there. It's a thing. And then you have the fact that Ariel and Eric are worse parents than even the parents in Frozen, because they do the same shit, but it makes even less sense. So they're not going to think that their daughter is going to be questioned like, hey, I could talk to fish creatures, and I like the ocean, and I wish you You know, it's just like, really, you never thought you'd question it? All they had to do is just explain, look, you can't be in the sea because someone has a baby trying to kidnap you. Cool. It's really stupid. It's just annoying. It's irritating. And it's just a dumb plot. And yeah, the music isn't great. And it's just really kiddie dialogue. But it's fine. I expected that from this. It's just really how stupid the plot is for no reason. I know these movies weren't made to be great movies, but they could try a little bit harder with these. Sometimes I just watch them and I go, why are you just not even trying sometimes? And that's kind of what this one was. I remember the other one being pretty good, the prequel one. So we'll see. I don't really think so, but I remember it being good because I watched it as a kid. So hopefully it is.